Mrs. Kozar's favorite song.
Yeah.
It's a throwback song. You could just bring us on after this song, Sarah. Regular basketball log, Minneapolis basketball.
These live video broadcasts are sponsored in part by Chuck's Collision. When the potentially inevitable occurs and your vehicle needs repair for body or glass, remember Chuck's Collision. They'll bring you satisfaction in your automotive restoration needs. Contact Chuck at 785-392-2774. Chuck's Collision is located at 1556 K106 Highway.
Citizen State Bank and Trust is committed to the Kansas ag community. While offering a variety of ag lending options, we will help you with finding the right plan that works for your operation. Citizen State Bank and Trust, with locations in Ellsworth, Lincoln, Delphus, Glasgow, and Minneapolis.
It's Minneapolis basketball tonight here on 92.7 The News. You were originally supposed to be coming tomorrow night, but due to incoming weather, they moved this game up, so Minneapolis takes on southeast of Saline here in Thursday night basketball. There will be no games tomorrow night. Jeremy Bone, pleased to be joined alongside by Jason Kozart. And Sarah Rapp is our producer and studio engineer. It's a big doubleheader, a rivalry game here for you. Southeast of Saline, the girls are 11-5 and have won 6 straight games. They are 6-0 in league play. They take on the Lady Lions of Minneapolis, who are 8-8 on the year. Minneapolis coming out of a blowout win over Ellsworth on Tuesday. The Lady Lions are also 4-2 in league action. Here on Countdown to Tip-Off on the Freddy's and Mocha's pregame show. We'll come back next with Brian Weatherman. This is Minneapolis basketball.
So were you on the hotel crew that stayed in Salina, or did your folks keep you and drive you home? That game, snow.
Got 5 overtime?
Yeah, wasn't that the night that people stayed in Salina on the way home?
Oh, really?
Snow?
I didn't know that.
Wasn't it? Okay.
We would have come home. My dad would have driven through it for sure. Yeah.
Hello, H. I'm going to zip my coat up first. You're that cold? Yes, already.
Bundle up, Dale.
There.
It is pretty chilly.
Well, my shoulders end up getting bad walking over. The walk home might be a little different. Yeah.
Do you live pretty close?
Yeah.
Where do you live?
Basically in the north end zone of the practice football field.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
Okay.
So apparently one of the JV officials didn't get the memo that it changed from Friday to Thursday.
Must have, because there was only one working it.
And then this guy that showed up and helped work it, I figured was the guy that was behind, but apparently he was one of the varsity refs that got here early. Jumped out there to help him.
There you go. Today was the warmest day of the week.
As my grandson would put it, not today.
He's a smart man.
My glasses won't up there before I even try to put them on. Well, well. Scott will be with us, but he will be late.
Yeah, he told me he might be a little late.
Mama's doctor appointment got lengthened or something. I don't know.
Did you ever meet a ref that you didn't like?
About length and height. That's how you know doctor's appointment. It's at 4 o'clock. You might be in by 4:30, 4:05.
Yeah, the people we transport, a lot of them are to medical appointments, and you never know what's going to happen. I just always tell them, well, you just never know what these medical people are going to do to you as far as time is concerned. You are completely at their mercy.
I was going to say, the worst one I had was when I had all those eye surgeries.
Good grief.
I remember going Dr. Weiner or whatever his name was. Oh, man. It was like almost 2 hours late.
Down in Wichita?
No.
Oh, okay.
No kidding.
Yeah, the ones in Wichita, you never knew.
Blow the whole place out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope the girls are ready for an upset tonight. Think that'll happen?
That'd be a big one.
Avila had a player who was averaging 23 points.
The old saying, there's
Literally
always
no one else
a
on there.
chance.
That's right.
It's amazing that
I
they
would
got
not put $3.5 million
So
on it like
Bethany
the
just says, I can
West
keep going.
Frontier in Tampa Bay did. But
They literally took this player out of the game. And she had
there's always
one
a
field
chance.
goal.
Dale,
Bethany just kept
the other
subbing.
Dale. Sorry, he doesn't have his headset on yet.
Whoever would sub in, the two
Hey.
players would play. So it just put the pressure on her. And they were
Can you hear me? Not yet.
Yep.
Now you can.
Gotcha.
What year did you get here?
What year did I get here? 2000.
That would have been 12 years earlier. Dan Allison was our only kid over 6 foot. He was 6'4". Third day of practice, he takes a knee to the quad. It ruptures a vein underneath his muscle. They had to cut the muscle to drain it. Missed 14 games. We start 0-11. And we were playing we got in that league with Heston, Hillsborough, Haven, back when Haven had Todd Bernard. So, I mean, we were playing tough people, but we were 0-11. We end up going 4-16. Darren comes back, game 14. We go 4-16. We go to Hillsborough to Sub-State. They're number one undefeated. We knock them off on a three-quarter court shot. We're down one. They're on the free throw line. They miss the free throw. It goes out to Jeremy Gregg, who heaves a one-handed three-quarter court three. His first year of the three-pointer in Kansas. Drains it for the win. Right? So we knock off the number one team in the state. The weird deal is, Jeremy Gregg and Alan Grosshands were practicing three-quarter court shots the night before. And I kid you not, true story. They were chucking one-handed three-quarter court shots. Next night, he makes one to win the game. We beat Ellsworth by 8, who had beat us by 30 twice. They won state the next year, for 2 years. Anyway, they were really good. They beat us by 30 twice. We beat them by 8. We faced Marion in the final. I was actually point guard that year. Played inside the next year, but I foul out with 30 seconds left in regulation. We go to overtime. Our backup point guard turns the ball over twice. We lose by 2 in overtime. We're in the state tournament at 7-16. So, yeah, it can happen.
It can happen.
Ours was injury based.
Yeah.
The reason we started so bad, probably, but it does happen. So.
Well, what was it here? Wasn't it Turgeon's team when Turgeon was in high school?
At Topeka?
Topeka. Weren't they like some 4 and whatever going into sub-state and we're state champions?
I don't remember. Hayden does that some because they play in that 6A league and then they go back and they win 4A state.
Yeah.
I've seen them go, 7 and 13 and then go win state. Yeah.
Well, you're talking about that first year of the 3. My story is almost sadder than yours. We're at the championship game of sub-state, and we've got Sylvan down by 1. They foul us with 8 seconds to go. My gal makes both free throws to put us up 3. Full court press on him. The gal dribbles about 1 dribble inside a half court, launches that sucker, and I mean, it did not drain it. It was one of those that went about 5 times and down. And they end up beating us in double overtime.
Wow. So that was my junior year, your first year of the three-point line?
Yeah.
And we opened with the Beloit tournament. And I think I scored over 20 points like 3 times in my life. I scored 29. I had 7 threes. And I don't think I had 7 threes the rest of the year. I was not a shooter. I hit one from the volleyball red double line. Jeff Ehrlich was on the bench. Johnson goes, if that doesn't go in, his butt's going to sit here the rest of the game. I drained it. It was just one of those nights,
Yep.
I'm not sure I didn't have the state record for threes for one night. So 7.
That was against Beloit?
That was against Beloit.
Yep.
Yeah. And we lost because we started 0-11. I scored 29 and we lost.
I'm not sure. My daughter may still have the school record out there because that's what she had one night was 7.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go live.
All right.
We can stop telling stories.
All right, welcome Minneapolis high school fans back to the Lions Den here on Thursday, February 11th, 2021. Games moved up from Friday night due to what was the potential for pretty good snowfall tomorrow evening, and I guess that is now kind of gone by the wayside. But we shall see what happens. Dale Leach, Dale Henderson, and Lyle Davidson here tonight. Scott Austin will join us later. The Lady Lions and the guys are hosting the Southeast Saline Trojans tonight in the doubleheader. For the girls, this is the 100th game of the series. Minneapolis leads at 55 wins to 44 losses. At Minneapolis, 29 wins to 16 losses.
You need to turn yourself up just a little bit.
I think so, Dale. You need to turn up a little bit.
Basketball coverage on 92.7 The News KZUH-FM. This is Countdown to Tip-Off.
Southeast has won the last several games.
Freddie's focus copy of news of area activities and athletes. Freddie's next big sport.
And I'm looking at some wrong information. My apologies.
He's Jason Cozart. I'm Jeremy Bowe.
Okay, the girls of Southeast are 11-5 overall, 5-0 in the league. Minneapolis girls are 8-8 overall and 4-2 in the league. Points given up, they're averaging giving up 38.9. Minneapolis averaging 35.3, so not too much difference there. However, they're scoring an average of 48.4 to Minneapolis' 36.8 average scoring. They've got quite the advantage on that. The last game that they played was against Beloit last Tuesday, and they beat them 55-30, which by coincidence was the score they beat us by down in Southeast back in January.
And Southeast is playing pretty well right now. They've blown out quite a few people in a row here, and their guards are tough, and they're going to press us, and it'll be a ball handling night because we have an advantage inside, but we've got to get the ball up the court.
They have several good basketball athletes, to say the least. As I say, they're 5-0 in the league. We don't have to worry about them in sub-state. They're in the Histon sub-state. But They are definitely the class of the NCAA league. Our girls had an impressive win against Ellsworth last Tuesday by a score of 42-21. And should be favored several of their last games here before substate sends us.
And lots for the girls to play for here in the last 3 games. Chance with 2 or more wins to get to double-digit wins. Chance right now to get out of the 7th spot in the sub-state. So a win could put them all the way up into the 6 or the 5 hole. So definitely something to play for in these last 3 games.
Definitely right.
Yep. Yeah, I was going to say Lolly night. I checked when I got home, and right now, if I check the records right, it's really nip and tuck, or anywhere between 5 and 7, depending on what the 3 teams that are there, do these next few games. But they've at least have a potential or a chance to actually get up to the 5 spot, I believe.
Well, right now we're tied with 8 records with Colby.
Yes, that's what I saw was.
And Russell's right behind us at 7 and 8.
Child's game, please exit the gym at your convenience with no gathering or in the college gym. Convenient support and helping with these efforts.
Have the national anthem prior to the boys' game, I guess. Introduction.
Slam, 5'7", junior number 4, Carson Schlesinger.
Carson Schlesinger, number 4, a junior.
Southeast 5'7", junior number 25, Minneapolis.
Alanya Yanakopoulos. She'll be referred to as Alanya. Maddie Harris, number 31, 5'2" junior.
Also for Southeast 5'6", junior number 33, Mallory Pearson.
Mallory Pearson, senior, scoring 30 points against the
number 35, Avery Castleman.
And Avery Castleman, sophomore.
Coming off of a 14-point performance.
Now for Minneapolis, Lady Lions.
Your Lady Lions.
5'8", sophomore, number 10, Elena Kozar.
Elena Kozar.
5'6", junior, number 11, Cameron Cleveland.
Cleveland, a junior.
5'6", senior, number 14, Peyton Smith.
Peyton Smith, senior.
5'9", senior, number 21, Courtney Forte.
Forte, senior.
And your final starter, 5'8", senior, number 23, Madison Lang.
Back from her illness stint, will start tonight.
By Brian Weatherman, assistant coach Mitch Shea.
Coaches Brian Weatherman and Mitch Shea. Be an interesting game tonight. See what the Lions can do against a team that really is. They are over. The other squad is overmatched on us. So we should see what we do with them.
Black and white trim, white numerals outlined in black.
Yeah, we're definitely facing a little bit different talent level than we saw Tuesday night with Ellsworth and all of their freshmen and sophomores. This is a pretty veteran bunch. And as Lyle indicated earlier, what I know of these girls is extremely athletic. And, we're going to see a lot of pressure.
Yeah, they're definitely guard heavy and guard strong, so we've got to figure out a way to get the ball inside.
And Cleveland with the tip away. On the dribble from Maddie Harris. Turnover to the Lions.
Starting lineup. The Southeast just dribbles the ball.
Lang will dribble, throw it in to
turnover, and the ball heads to Minneapolis.
Forte.
Press from the Trojans.
Full-court press by the Trojans. Break it up to Smith here. Across the timeline. Lena Kozart on the right wing. Back to Forte at the top. Over here to Lang on the left wing. Down
good pass.
Kozart shot short, so they get the rebound.
It was a good look by Maddie Lang, and that's what they want to try to do, get that ball inside, whether it's on cutters or whether it's trying to get inside to Courtney.
Forte intercepts the pass. Turnover down to Lang. Shots up and in. Lady Lions take the opening lead.
It's 2-0 Minneapolis.
Turned down a three-pointer.
Minneapolis, 7 minutes to
Castleman.
go in the first. Southeast of Saline with the basketball. Yanakopoulos top the key, swings it over to the left corner to Harris.
Castleman on
Now
deep
with the
left
basketball
wing
is
here.
Castleman in that coffin corner.
Lady Lions
On the
in a
left side,
2-3
Harris
zone.
is at right wing. Gives it to Slazer on the right point.
Castleman
She'll hand
dribbles
the
into
ball
the
off
free
to
throw line,
Castleman.
around the lane.
Slashes
Layup
through
is
the
good.
lane. No one
Ties the
stops
score
it.
at 2.
Goes by everyone and breezes in for a right-handed
Full court
layup.
press.
It's
Smith.
at 2.
Cleveland up to Forte. Back to Castleman, or excuse me, Cleveland across the timeline.
Minneapolis so far not having issues with
Forte.
that diamond press as they get the ball across the
Lang
timeline.
here on the
Tied
left
at
wing.
2. 6:20 to go in the
Cleveland's
first.
top of the key. Now Forte
There's a
in
cutter.
underneath the Smith. Up
Good
and
luck.
in. 4-2 Minneapolis.
Then a timeout called
And
by
the
Southeast
Southeast Saline Trojans take
6:16
the
to go in
timeout.
the first. Minneapolis leading.
We'll be right
4-2.
back
Quick timeout.
after a word from our sponsor.
7 the News Zoo.
Pat and Lynette Donovan at Ag by Air have been supporting ag operations in the Minneapolis and Douglas area for over 20 years with prompt, up-to-date, and competitive aerial application service. Ag by Air is located at 974 Highway K106, south of Minneapolis, or can be reached at 785-392-3300 for questions on scouting your fields, chemical recommendations, or conventional work. Ag by Air, a proud sponsor of the Minneapolis High School Lions.
Welcome back here after the timeout. Southeast with possession. Castleman deep left wing. He dribbles into the lane. Layup is out.
Back in Minneapolis, Lady
Gets the
Lions
rebound. It's knocked away from her out of bounds. Off 33.
First
Pearson.
quarter, 6 minutes to go in the first. Southeast out of the
Well, right now, both teams' defenses are kind of porous, getting both ends. We've had layup opportunity after opportunity.
has the basketball.
Cleveland to shoot on the left wing.
Goes into a 1-3-1
That
zone.
beat Smith.
Minneapolis going out of pressure.
Into Cozart. And she's traveling. She's on the free throw line. Probably could have shot it.
At the
Look for
foul
a pass
line and a
traveling
travel
across
gets called on Minneapolis.
4-2 the Lady Lions.
With the basketball, Harris right wing for Southeast.
Down deep,
Saline gets it
and
inside to Slesner.
The shot is up by number
Middle,
4.
goes up with a
Schlesinger.
right-handed runner and gets
Carson.
fouled. Carson Slesner
fouled.
gets to the line. A near
She's one of their leading
70% foul
scorers. She did not
It's
start.
the first foul on the game, and it goes
First
against
foul on Maggie Shue.
who just checked in. She did
And
not
obviously
get
the team's
start
first.
time. It was Maddie Leonard
Carson
who started
Schlesinger with her
plays.
first point.
Slesner at the line. Her first free throw is through the net. Second charity toss coming here from
Two's up
Slesner.
and ties it at 4.
Also perfectly switched it in. It's 4-4.
Yeah,
We are
inbounds
tied.
it to
Tied
Cozart,
on the
back to
first.
Smith.
Now another full court press here from Southeast of Saline.
Shoot
It's the
across the
diamond.
timeline. Oh, yeah, wait.
Quickly
Ball.
navigates
Thank
it.
This is already a lot better against the press than we did down in Gypsum.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Forte at the top of the key. Down to Shoop on the left wing. Working against the man-to-man out to Smith. She drives in. 10-footer. No good. Forte with the rebound. Her shot's up. She's fouled in the process. She'll go to the line.
Courtney Forte happy positioning
4-2.
down low. And she'll head to the line for 2 free throws.
The Lions have been taking a lot of three-point shots recently, and we're 3 minutes in. I don't think we've shot a three yet, so trying to pound it inside.
Forte with the first free throw make.
Motion here as of late now to
Lang comes
50%
in
on the air.
shoot.
Her first free throw is through the net. Some line changes here on both sides. Elena Yanakopoulos.
Not a lot of height for Southeast. I think the tallest is 5'7", so definitely an advantage inside if we can keep working it in there.
Free throw number 2 crawls in.
Rolls home. 6-4
Lady Lions. Layup from the left side is good by Maddie Harris. Nice pass. Gets that. Forte down to Smith. Beat the press real well there. Forte at the top of the key. Cozart to the right. 10-footer is good. Lady Lions keeping the lead here, 8-6.
Good job by Elena there not to drive into traffic and make it a contested shot, to stop there and take that 15-footer.
Schlesinger drives, kicks it over to Harris. No good. Kozar with the rebound. Out to Cleveland. Across the timeline. Pulls up. Gets it to Forte at the top of the key. Kozar on the right wing. Over to Lang here on the left wing now. Looking inside. Kozar at the top. Now to Cleveland. Back to Lang.
They're out of the zone and back to a man-to-man here.
Yep. Forte drives, kicks it out to Kozar. Cleveland out the top of the key. Forte over to Lang. Cleveland for three. It's out. And it's off of Schlesinger on the rebound battle with Smith. Maggie Shoup's going to come in here for Peyton Smith. 8-6, 3:40 to go in the first. Minneapolis with the lead.
This is about the biggest lineup the Lions can put in right now. So
down to Forte. He pulls it out. Shoup on the right wing over to Forte. Lady Lions move the ball very well. Very crisply.
they seem to be better getting the ball inside against the zone. They're kind of struggling to get the ball inside here in the man.
Lang has the tip away, stolen by
the Trojans. Southeast of Saline. Trojans want to run. They played ahead up the floor. Yanakopoulos in the right corner.
Schlesinger drives. Layup is short. Rebounded by Forte.
Partially blocked by
Cleveland brings across the timeline. The Trojans back off on the press. Over to Kozar, deep left. Up front to Lang. Forte, she drives, pops it back to Lang. Two-pointer, no good. Trojans get the rebound. That was Jacobson.
Probably not the shot that the Lions were looking for. Southeast on the rebound.
Three-point attempt by 31 is no good. Forte with the rebound.
Good block out right there by Elena Kozar. Kept that guard off of that.
Harris with the shot. Forte and Lang looking for a pass. Had the ball tipped and kept possession, but traveled in the process.
Yeah, well, you're pretty observant on that. You know, Southeast has really tightened their defense up on their man, and we're not getting those cutters through there like we were, and making it pretty tough on us right now.
Cleveland with a great steal gets it here to Forte. Back to Cleveland.
2-point lead for the Lady Lions. They have the ball in the home white.
Shoup on the left wing. Kicks it out front to Lang. Looking for the cutter. Back to Forte here on the right wing. Gets it into Shoup at the free throw line. Back out to Forte. Inside 2 minutes. Shoup on the left wing. She pulled her foot as she started to drive. Made a good decision to start that drive, but just pulled the foot in the process.
So far, the Lions have only gone 6 deep in this first quarter, but they've rotated pretty regularly, trying to keep them fresh.
Smith and Lang, all three are seniors. They're still pretty young bunch.
Castleman's three-pointer is no good. They get the rebound. That was Pearson.
Underneath for the Trojans.
She's fouled in the putback attempt, so she'll go to the line for 2. Fouls on Lang.
I think that's the first offensive rebound for them in the quarter, so Lions have done a good job of getting on the boards, but right there giving up the offensive rebound.
Gets the first chance to tie here with the second free throw. 1:32 remaining. First quarter.
Soaks in. Maddie Lane checks out as Elena Kozar heads in for the Lady Lions with 92 seconds to go in the first.
That's going to be a big factor too.
Second free throw, good. All net. It's tied at 8, 1:30 to go.
Minneapolis now to
Cleveland.
The Southeast of Saline.
Double.
2 from the strike. Lady Lions get the ball.
Got out of the double team, gets it over to Shoup.
1:20 to go.
The Lions have only had 2 turnovers so far, but neither one have been due to the press. They've done a good job against the press. They've had their turnovers inside.
Cleveland down low. The shot is no good.
Fires a shot.
Rebound to Southeast.
Short. Rebound to Southeast of Saline. Slazer racing the ball across the timeline, being hounded by Cozart.
Southeast can't take their first lead.
Castleman, who hands it right back up to Slazer. Working around the horn. Top
Ooh.
of Pulse 42.
Foul.
I thought they were going to call a foul on that right there.
And they say, oh no, travel.
Got the turnover.
So it's back to Minneapolis.
55 seconds remaining in the fourth. Score tied at 8.
Full court press here from Southeast of Saline.
Put the press back on. Smith, he runs through it.
Get everyone to fly out.
Gives it up. Now that's the Forte.
Front court, that's what they do. Bring the ball across the timeline.
Cleveland here.
Seconds to go in the first.
To shoot. Top of the key. Smith on the left wing. Look into side. Back out to shoot on the right wing. She drives in. Kicks it out to Cleveland, and we rescue what
Good save.
Cleveland drives in. The Forte at the free throw line. Shoots, takes a three. Off. Southeast with the rebound. 10 seconds. Southeast has a chance to take the lead here at the end. They take the shot, no good.
Airballs a three, one on the clock.
And no time remaining. The clock goes up. Score tied at 8 after 1 quarter play. Now, I don't know what it was after the first quarter down at Southeast, but it was nowhere like this. The Lady Lions have really come out, played good, heady, smart ball. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsor.
Autotech has provided reliable service to the local community since 2002 and are proud supporters of the MJSHS Lions. Gary Keating and Dave Sweat lead an outstanding team of mechanics who tackle repairs on all makes and models of automobiles and also provide competitive pricing for oil changes. Authorized dealers for Jasper engines and transmissions. And don't forget our lineup of used cars.
Tonight's game brought to you by C&R Plating in Minneapolis. Kevin Klein and the rest of the crew at C&R Plating, proud to support the youth of Minneapolis and all they do.
Welcome back. We move to quarter number 2. The league-leading Lady Trojans of Southeast Saline are tied by the Minneapolis Lions here, 8-8 after 1 quarter play. Minneapolis led pretty much throughout the quarter until the last minute and a half maybe.
Yeah, and I would say that's definitely to the script for the Lions with an average of 32 to 32 right now at the end of the game. That's keeping it pretty low scoring, and they've done a good job of not turning the ball over against the press.
Cleveland down to Cozart. Swinging around to shoot on the left wing. Inside to Forte, and it's hit around off of Forte.
To the left block, can't handle the pass. Drops it out of bounds. Turnover and the ball back.
Got the ball inside of the cutter right there, but had some trouble. A lot of contact right there.
Earlier this season, 55 to 30 down in Gypsum.
Good play.
Cleveland taps that ball, and 31, Harris.
The freshman, Maddie Harris, drops it out.
Taps it out before she can get control. Shupel inbound on the far side. Gets it back to Elena Cozart.
From southeast of Saline, it's a man-to-man press, so Elena Cozart.
Cozart across the time. Oh! Carried the ball. Got it up a little too high. Turnover call.
And again, the first turnover, I think, against the press right there. All the rest of the turnovers been inside, but definitely they come out with a man-to-man press instead of a zone press this time.
3-point attempt by Schlesinger. Gives them their first lead, 11 to 8.
It's a 5-0 run for the Southeast Saline Trojans right there.
Cozart back up to shoot. Cleveland drives to the left. Out to Forte at the top of the key. Now here over to Cozart on the right. Back out to Courtney. Now on the left side to Cleveland, looking for the cutter. There it is, Cozart, a little high. Out of bounds, too. The Trojans, and Minneapolis will take the timeout with 6:49 remaining second quarter. Trailing 11 to 8.
Video broadcasts are sponsored in part by Chuck's Collision. When the potentially inevitable occurs and your vehicle needs repair for body or glass, remember Chuck's Collision. They'll bring you satisfaction in your automotive restoration needs. Contact Chuck at 785-3929 2:07 second quarter. Chuck's Collision is located at 1556 K106 Highway.
Well, 2 trips in a row that we had a really nice execution of our offense, getting our cutter off of that top screen, but unfortunately the pass has been not on the mark, and we've actually turned it over both times, but really good look at getting the ball inside.
Schlesinger hit the three-pointer, didn't draw rim. Tie up between Forte and
6:39
Southeast.
second quarter. Trojans by 3.
Possession arrow to
Wearing
Southeast.
the purple uniforms. Lobbing it from the left baseline. Southeast of Saline with it wide open.
25 three-pointers flat. No good. Forte with the rebound.
Collects the rebound underneath.
Here to shoot. Down to Lang and it's it over her head.
So there's a reason we were in the first quarter. We only had 2 turnovers. Already here in the second quarter, in a minute and a half, we've got 4 turnovers, and that's what you got to stay away from if you want to stay in a game with somebody like this.
Yep.
11-8 the lead here for Southeast of Saline. 6.
Looks like shot no good. Lang with the rebound. Gets it out to Cleveland. Up the court comes Cameron. Looks about driving the lane, pulls it back. Sets up, he's going to set up the offense here. Over to Smith on the left wing.
Over to Smith along the left sideline.
Maddie got away with a nice shove off right there.
Shoop on the right wing. Out to Lang. Forte on the left wing. Looking for the cutter. Lang up front. Cleveland on the right wing. Oh, shoots underneath. She foul on the shot attempt. Pass is a little bit late getting to her. Once she got it, she was out of position, but put it up anyway. And go to the line for 2.
Had one of those in the boys' game last night where they were so far into the bucket, there's no way they wouldn't have hit the backboard and still got the 2 free throws. And kind of that situation right there, I'm not sure she would have got that. Could have got that one up to the rim.
Maggie's first free throw is good.
Free throw shooter percentage-wise at over 60%. Buries her first free throw.
Second free throw coming. And bounds in, but steps over the line.
Free throw.
Takes the point away. 11-9 Southeast, 5:40 remaining. Second quarter.
30 to go here in the second.
Forte steps in and knocks the ball out. Southeast retains possession. Shoot with the rebound, the steal.
Gets a steal for Minneapolis.
Gets it over to Cleveland. Cleveland drives. Pulls it out to Cozart on the right wing. Shoot up front. Now Forte on the left wing. Looking for the cutters. There's Cleveland. Got a shoot on the right side. Cozart up front. There's Smith underneath. Too late. Cleveland open for 3. Takes it too far. Schlesinger with the rebound for Southeast.
Good hustle out there by the Lions to stop a fast break right there. They haven't given up any fast break points yet either.
25 free throw line shot is no good. Shoot with the rebound. 4:40 remaining second quarter. Still 11-9 Southeast. Cozart here on the right wing. Up to Forte.
It's 11-9 the lead for the Lakers.
Long cutter, she says. Over to Smith. Smith out to shoot on the deep left. Takes the 3. Is no good. Pass for Cozart with the rebound. Up to Cleveland for 3. That is off. Forte muscles it up and in. Ties it at 11. They drive. 5-footer is no good. Forte with the rebound. She'll be fouled, I believe, by Pearson.
I think, again, the Lions haven't turned the ball over a lot against the press, and Southeast gets a lot of run-out layups, which they're not getting. And we've done a good job of getting back in our half-court defense, and they haven't got a lot of layups there either. So obviously they're getting some frustration here, only 11 points, quarter and a half in.
Man-to-man press, Cleveland dribbles through it.
Going against the full-court press, brings ball across the timeline.
Playing pretty heady ball, Lady Lions are right now for the most part.
3:50 to go in the
over to Forte, top of the key. Looking for Smith on Earth. Shoot on the left wing, back to the Cozart. Forte on the right wing now. There's Shoot. Now deep left is Smith. She dribbles in, pulls up, back to Forte at the free throw line. 3-second call, maybe?
Yep.
3:32 to go.
It's now our 5th turnover of the quarter.
Been a couple minutes since our last one, though.
Yeah, and again, they haven't caused run-out layups. It's not been turnovers that have caused offensive problems.
But was held to just 34 against Chapman.
Right, Castleman over here on the left, 31, takes the three. Short. They get the rebound up and in. Reagan gets
just checked into the game.
Rebound and put back.
Home for Southeast of Saline. It's 13-11.
Cozart.
3 minutes to go in the second. Lady Lions got to navigate it across the
Pulls
timeline.
up.
Cozart in some trouble.
Gets it
Passes
to
across
Cleveland.
the timeline in the nick of time to Cleveland. Dribbles to the top of the key, gets
Pulls up at the free throw line over to Forte.
In some trouble. Nothing. Has to get the ball.
Running that cutting offense. Now Shoop on the left wing. She dribbles in, kicks it over to Forte right side. Cozart dribbles in and she's fouled as she goes for the shot attempt on the layup.
Good aggressive play there by Elena Cozart.
So Elena, possibility of tying the game here, 2:33 remaining.
Number 4 against Southeast of Saline and the first on Harris. Cozart
good.
Cozart near 60% as a foul shooter, and her first free throw is through the net. It's to tie it here as Maddie Lang checks in for Courtney Forte. Now Minneapolis, they got to have some team rebounding here.
Second free throw coming, and it's good also.
Perfect rotation.
Nice. Right at 13, 2:30 to go in the half.
Right at 13, Southeast of Saline has the ball. Pearson with it, top of the arc, bounces it over to Schlesinger, who pumps, tries to drive on Smith, gets
here on the left wing.
Passes
Cross
it over
court
to
to
Harris.
Castleman.
Skips it
He
back
turns
to
down the open
right
shot,
wing. Basketball
kicks it inside.
is Castleman. They're working in
Castleman at the top now, inside to
Schlesinger,
shot's no good.
Falls away from the second.
Rebound pulled down by Shoop.
Minneapolis on the rebound.
Lang, wide open, shot is short.
Fires a 7-footer.
Gets with the rebound for Southeast.
Southeast of Saline collects the
1-2
rebound.
break.
They go to transition.
Shot taken in by Mallory Pearson.
That's the first time they didn't hustle back and be set in time to stop that. That was a real good secondary break by Southeast right there.
And we were not particularly prepared to go against that press. Coach Weatherman wisely takes the timeout to get us out of trouble there.
Minneapolis in
1:43
trouble in the
remaining.
backcourt, so they have
Lions
to call
trail.
time.
Southeast
1:43 to go in the second.
15-13.
Let's take it.
We'll be right back.
Saline 15, Minneapolis 13.
Citizen State Bank and Trust is committed to the Kansas ag community. While offering a variety of ag lending options, we will help you with finding the right plan that works for your operation. Citizen State Bank and Trust, with locations in Ellsworth, Lincoln, Delphus, Glasgow, and Minneapolis. Citizen State Bank and Trust is a proud supporter of Minneapolis Lions athletics. Stop by and visit Jason Bird for all of your financial planning and investment needs. We are dedicated to helping your money work harder for you. Citizen State Bank and Trust, the cornerstone of our community.
Wilson family.
Welcome back. Lady Lions inbound the ball on the far side.
1:43 to
Gets
go
it
in the
into
first half of action.
Cozart.
Southeast of Saline clinging to a 2-point lead over Minneapolis. 15-13 out of the timeout. Lady Lions.
Cozart gets it across the timeline.
It's Elena Cozart races it up the floor. Dangerous pass up.
And it's knocked out of bounds by Southeast. Castleman almost comes up with the steal.
Hit it into the sideline. The ball stays with the Lady Lions.
Cozart inbound the ball. Gets it over the line. Back to Elena.
1:25 to go in the second.
Over to Cameron Cleveland.
Southeast of Saline in front. Minneapolis has
Shoot at the top of the key there. Forte and it's inside there. Back there again. Castleman knocks it away. Oh! Shoot about had it back.
into the hands of the Trojan. Southeast
They keep it. Oh, and there's Cleveland with the steal. 1 on 3. What's she going to do? Off the Trojan foot. For a foul. There's the foul on the Trojan. Nifty defensive play by Cameron Cleveland there, and driving the ball in against the pressure.
She kind of got bailed out on that foul, trying to go 1-on-3, but we'll take that.
15th foul on the Trojans, 1:01 to go in the half. Inside to Cleveland, turnaround jumper, no good. Smith with the rebound. Tie up. Possession error to Minneapolis.
Tied up Mallory Pearson. That saves possession as the Lady Lions have
Tate
the arrow.
Smith will inbound the ball here.
Minneapolis can trigger it in.
Forte underneath. Shot is blocked.
She goes up.
Rebounded by Schlesinger and Smith. Foul. Nifty play by Schlesinger on the block.
That was a clear looking foul.
52 seconds remaining in the half. Southeast up by 2. Castman on the deep right.
45 seconds to go in the second quarter. It's 15-13.
Inside to Schlesinger.
That last foul by Pigeon Smith on Minneapolis are first. Pearson with it top of the arc.
Pearson.
Dribbling to the right side and pitches it off. Now left corner with the basketball. Harris puts it on Hardwood. Kills her dribble. And they'll swing it down on the right side of the floor. Gets with it. Ball above her head.
3 turnovers in that possession. Haven't been called yet. 3 turnovers.
3-point line shot goes in. 4-point lead for the Trojans.
It was clearly a double dribble.
Cleveland across the timeline. Drives. Kicks it over to Smith. Undisputed. Forte underneath. She's fouled as she goes to the line, or to the basket.
I think he's going to call that on the floor.
Okay, before the shot.
Yep.
It's called. Smith will throw the ball in. 7.5 ticks remaining. Lions down by 4.
Minneapolis down 4.
Out front to Closart. Not a lot of time here. To Smith. From the right side is a little short, no good. Lady Lions trail 17-13 after 1 half play. And a game, quite honestly, that I hoped for, but I didn't expect to see necessarily. So we'll be right back with a wrap-up of this half play.
Funeral Home, our family serving your family. Todd, Shelley, Landon, and Reese Wilson proudly support the activities of the Minneapolis Junior Senior High School students. Go Minneapolis Lions!
Pat and Lynette Donovan at Ag by Air have been supporting ag operations in the Minneapolis and Delphos area for over 20 years with prompt, up-to-date, and competitive aerial application service. Ag by Air is located at 974 Highway K-106 south of Minneapolis, or can be reached at 785-392.
You want to do it at half or sorry?
Questions on scouting your field,
Sure, you want me to.
chemical recommendations, or potential work. Ag by Air, a proud sponsor of the Minneapolis High School Lions.
Minneapolis Junior Senior High School Lion backers are proud to continue their long-term support of the broadcast of these Lions games. Join us as we support student activities and the teachers of NCAA. Go Lions! We'll be the on the way.
Autotech has provided reliable service to the local community since 2002 and are proud supporters of the NCAA Lions. Keating and Dave Sweat lead an outstanding mechanic, tackle repairs and all makes and models of automobiles, and also provide competitive prices for authorized dealers for Jasper engines and transmissions. Don't forget our lineup of used cars.
Welcome back to our halftime. Both teams in a close, tight game are way underneath their scoring averages for the A game, about a third on both sides. Minneapolis at 13 points, normally scoring 36.8. Southeast at 17, normally scoring 48.4. So offensive output has not been high for this game. Defense has been the name of the game. but not a whole lot of turnovers, as I'm sure we'll hear from Lyle Davidson. Go ahead, Lyle.
Well, I'll defer to Dale. But it has been a while for me, but I had the Lions with 8 turnovers and Southeast with 6.
I was at 10 and 7, so we're pretty close.
And I had Minneapolis for 12 rebounds and Southeast for 8.
I'm at 13 and 11.
Pretty darn close.
So I missed a few there, but yeah, I think definitely this is playing just like the Lions would like it to. Low scoring, and they've done a good job of not turning the ball over against the press, not giving up easy layups for offensive baskets, and made Southeast play a half-court ball game.
So it was 8-8 in the first quarter, and they outscored 9-5.
Correct. That's correct. 8-8 after one, and then outscored 9-5 in that second quarter.
All right.
Well, I'm with you, Lyle, on the turnovers. We've got the turnovers, but most of them have been within our offense, and I think, like you said, if I remember right, we only turned the ball over one time, actually against our press, which even that one did not lead into buckets, and that's pretty much, I think, Southeast's game. And if we can continue to do that and keep this a half-court game, it should go down to the wire. And as I was going through I'll go through the scoring, and then I'll make a comment on that when I get done. But at the half, Minneapolis is led in scoring by Courtney Forte with 4, and Elena Kozart with 4. Peyton Smith has 2, Maddie Lang 2, and Maggie Shoup 1. Southeast is being led by Karen Schlesinger with 5. Mallory Pearson and Maddie Harris each have 4. Reagan Getz and Avery Castlin each have 2. And as I was going through those, I guess what jumped out at me is that basically, the Schlesinger girl is, I think, Southeast leading scorer, and she only has 5, and she scores way more than that per game. But also what jumps out at me from the Minneapolis standpoint is our leading scorer also is scoreless at halftime. Cameron Cleveland right now has really had very few looks and has 0 points. So the combination of those 2 leading scorers not scoring is part of the reason for the low score in the game.
Cameron's had some good shots. They just are not gone.
Well, I think part of that's due to Southeast defense. The shots she's had some what I would call semi-open looks, but there's just a little bit of angst in her motion to try to get it off before that defense gets to her. So she's just not really in her comfort zone right now.
I don't know how many times the Lady Lions were running their offense. I can think of probably 3 instances, might have been more, where they're looking for the cutters. They saw it, were a little bit late getting it there, and the opportunity was gone.
Well, we've had a couple of those, and we've also had 2 or 3 turnovers where we just flat threw poor passes when the cutter was there. So both of those together have cost us some points that we could have had.
But overall, a very good half for the Lady Lions.
Oh yeah, I'm sure Coach Weatherman is ecstatic to be in this position at halftime after what they went through last time, and
getting beat by 25 down at Gibson.
And I'm kind of thinking back, if I don't remember if it was a year ago or 2 years ago when Courtney pretty well went off on Southeast and probably had the game of her life down there, and we almost upset them down there. So kind of deja vu.
Was that when she had 25 rebounds?
Yeah, 20 points and 25 rebounds.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Big double.
Yeah, the Southeast started out in the zone, and we were getting the ball inside. I don't think we took a 3 the entire first quarter. And then they went to the man and really stopped us from being able to get the ball inside, stopped us from being able to drive the basketball. So we settled for a lot more 3s in that second quarter, and that's part of the reason we only got 5 points there in that quarter. Just couldn't get the ball inside, and the opportunities for rebounding, when we did get them, we weren't able to put those shots back in. So I think that definite recipe for this second half is to make sure we're getting back on defense and not allowing the one run out they got was off of a long rebound off of a three. They were able to make 2 passes and get a layup. We didn't hustle back right there. It was kind of a spot. I think we were a little tired. So I think it's going to be important that they keep their rotation, keep fresh bodies on the floor as best they can. Because the more tired we get, the harder it's going to get back, and then it's going to be more likely that they're going to get those runouts.
Right now, I hope these young ladies came out of the locker room after halftime believing, hey, we can do this. We played them ahead, kept them tight, we were ahead. Quite right.
Well, you always have plenty, there's a double whammy here, and the fact that, the Minneapolis girls obviously are coming out of the locker room full of confidence that, we're in this, our hard work is paying off, we're staying there, and I would think the Southeast, on the other hand, is probably a little bit on the negative aspect of, we blew these girls out the last time we played them, and they're right there with us, and I'm sure there's a little bit of frustration in that locker room.
No other games going on here.
Well,
tonight,
I don't have
so
their ladies Trojan scores with me, but the last time they got beat was playing Sterling, which was a pretty staunch Class 2A team down at the Missouri tournament in January. And they've scored 3 since then. So right now they got to be feeling.
It'll be interesting to see the adjustments they make, especially on defense. I wonder if they'll go to the zone press instead of a man press, maybe more of a trapping, because they're not forcing turnovers out of their zone press or they're out of their man press. So we'll see what changes both teams make. But the Lions need to just again really concentrate on staying back on defense and not giving up easy buckets.
Okay, we're down to just a few seconds here left at halftime. Coach is giving the girls the final instructions on both sides. And Southeast will have the possession arrow to start play here in the second half. So 2 quarters here for the Lady Lions to avenge a big defeat at Southeast back on January 8th.
After one, it'll be
Trailing by 4.
ball to start the second half. Wearing the road purple uniforms with the black and white trim. Carson Slazier, as well as Liliana Kopolis, Mallory Pearson.
Alina Yankopoulos to throw the ball in for Southeast.
Castleman, Minneapolis
Gets
plays
the Schlesinger
basketball with it starting by Maddie
across the timeline.
Got her first start on the year. Courtney Forte, Cameron Cleveland, Elena Kozar.
They drive, kicked away by Kozar.
Throw it away.
Kirk into Cleveland. Overhit of Smith. Good defense started up, down low, the line, jump, no good. She gets about had a rebound. Oh, nice touch by the Lady Lions.
Now 2 bunnies that Lang has missed on the game. As the ball heads back to
That was a really good opportunity wasted. Had a nice look right off the block.
They drive, run into the defense. Tipped away by Kozar. She got a run out. From the right side, he's fouled. Will not get the layup. They go to the line for 2.
Yeah, Dale, it's unfortunate that we didn't get that bucket there because that's exactly how the Lions would have wanted to start here. 2 turnovers by the opponent leading to 2 baskets on the other end. A basket and potentially 2 free throws right here. So could have tied that game up. So it was a big bucket chance down there. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers by the Trojans coming out of half. I'm not exactly sure that's probably what they were looking for.
I'm sure you're right.
By the way, is the third against
Elena with the second on the way, and it's good. 4 for 4, I think.
Yes, Elena is 4 for 4.
And Cleveland just about gets another turnover. Anticipating that pass to Maddie Harris. Stepped out of bounds. With possession, Castle on the inbound for the Lady Trojans. 7. Gets it up front to Pearson. Back to Castle. 3-pointer. Good. Back to the 5-point lead. Actually, that's their biggest lead, I think. Cleveland pulls up. That's a 4-10.
Minneapolis usually good for
Kozar.
3 or 4 threes a game.
Cleveland.
Pass to the right corner is intercepted.
Ball stolen away from Lang, and she's fouled diving into the tip to get it back.
Probably a good foul because that stopped the transition.
Keeps the Trojans from getting a run out there on the turnover.
With 6:54 to go in the third quarter. Southeast 20, Minneapolis 15.
So 2 turnovers by each team in the first minute of the third quarter.
Castleman takes another three from the other side. It's off.
Yep. You don't get that call a lot, but that's a good call right there. Definitely a push on the rebound right there for position.
Push in the back. Smith the inbound here to Cleveland. Down to Forte. Back to Smith on the right side. Across the timeline down to Cozart. Man-to-man defense for the Trojans.
6:30 to go in the third quarter. Lady Lions have the ball up.
Cleveland drives, flips it over to Cozart. Up front to Smith. He drives in. 5-footer runner, good. The Lions within 3. Here comes Schlesinger for the Trojans. Castleman on the deep right. That's Castleman at the top of the key. They drive in, over to the left, to the right. Another drive. Castleman drives. Layup is no good.
He's going to call that on the floor anyway. He's going to call that way before the shot. Surprised his partners with that one. They were all set up for giving him a free throw right there.
Foul was on 10. That's Cozart. Two-pointer is good for the Trojans. 22-17. Shoot. Working against the press. Over to Forte. Down to Cleveland. 2-on-2.
Dribble as she tried to extend a fast break, but just walked with it a turnover.
Pulled up her dribble as she kept her feet going. Deep right wing, Castleman. Kick it to the left side now. Schlesinger drives in. Runner is no good. She's fouled. Must have been the fourth shot.
Yeah, that's another one that was early.
Second foul in a row. That's team foul number 3 against the Lady Lions.
Team foul on the Lions.
Second foul on Elena Cozart.
In a matter of minutes. Castleman drives in. Kicks it out left. Long 2 is no good, and Smith with the rebound for the Lady Lions. Cleveland now up the court. Down to Cozart here in the left wing.
Minneapolis with the ball, but down 5. 22-17 the lead here for Southeast.
Smith looks inside, pulls it back up to Cozart up front. Forte on the left wing here.
No time to rush now. He's still got plenty of time in this game.
Shoop on the right wing. She drives in. Layup is short block. Schlesinger with the rebound for the Trojans.
It's just been really hard for the Lions to get a drive against this man-to-man defense.
Castleman gets it out front. 34 is good. That was Reagan's debt. They expand their lead to 8. Two-3-pointers involved in this run.
Third quarter. It's now Southeast 25, Minneapolis 17.
We will be back after we hear about who some of our community sponsors are for these live video broadcasts.
B&M Body Shop, John Wright. Fajitas Mexican Restaurant, Francisco Gallardo. The Crooked Nail Studio with Alexis Kern.
Lindsay Creek Feeders, Perry Owens, manager. Bennington State Bank in Minneapolis and Salina. Hometown Hardware with Pam Barker and Vicki Kaufman.
No Place Like Home Cook Shop with Carolee Austin. Farm Bureau Financial Services with Matt Pickroll.
To go here in the third quarter. Southeast of Saline now is opening up its largest lead of the game. 25-17 over Minneapolis. The Lady Trojans are 11-5.
Lions took time.
My observation coming out of the second half, Southeast has definitely picked up their pressure on their defense. Not so much full court, but in the half court, they're really getting up in our grill and making it really difficult on us. And it also seems to me like that their ball movement on offense is a little bit crisper this half as well.
Cleveland down to Cozart. And she double dribble.
They're at the fourth turnover in the half of the quarter here, so yeah, hard to get buckets when you're turning the ball over.
Man-to-man defense for the Lady Lions. Schlesser deep ring. Three-pointer is no good. Forte with the rebound. Out to Cleveland. That's Forster's shoot. A little high for could not control it.
Ill-advised. Looking for a shoot who can't handle it.
That's just a tough pass. There was enough defense there that even if she caught that, she wasn't going to be able to get that open layup. So high risk, low reward right there.
Castleman return for Southeast. Southeast of Saline has the ball
across the court for the Trojans.
Have won 6 in a row coming into tonight's affair, including
Castleman at the top of the key. She might have double dribbled, I don't know. Schlesser drives in from the right. Runner is good.
The Lions got a little overextended there with the defense. Peyton went for the steal and then left that open layup.
Cleveland did a nifty job of dribbling through the defense and how to shoot on the right wing.
Turned it over.
Gets it back in Cleveland. Lady Lions down by 10.
Crucial final 3 minutes of the third down.
And I don't know what to whistle for. Coach Weatherman's giving the referee an earful.
Ryan Weatherman in the ear of an official, yelling for a hold. He gets the call as picking up the foul.
They were running through a screen right there. He was looking for the call coming around that screen. Got the hold call on the ball handler instead of the screen.
Shoot. Gets it out to Cleveland for 3. Short. Forte underneath. Up and in.
Cleveland airballs a 3 right wing, but Forte on the rebound. Gets fouled. Lays it in and one.
Good muscle work there by.
Run from Southeast Saline. Can Courtney Forte carve into the lead?
And she had real good position right there for that offensive rebound. And last time down the court, she was trying to exit the lane when the shot went up. That time, she was outside the lane and able to get in and get good position.
Throw short. Cleveland with the rebound. Oh! Shots off. Forte with the rebound. Off. Oh, I thought that went off the Schlesser. Good fight there by the Lady Lions.
2 good offensive rebounds, really battling right there, working hard.
Schlesser over to Castleman. Pearson deep left. She stepped out of bounds. Peyton Smith set to come in for the Lady Lions. Will replace Maggie Shoup.
Lions have still only gone 6 deep in this game, which is, I guess that's not unexpected, but it's going to be tough in the fourth quarter with just playing 6 kids against this pressure.
Well, that and Southeast is also substituting pretty liberally. I'm not sure how many deep they've gone, but it's several.
Cleveland for 3. Short. Pearson with the rebound for Southeast and fouled from behind by Cleveland. Cleveland's continuing to do a very nifty job of dribbling through the pressure on the fast break.
They were just not able to get the ball inside, not able to drive against theirs, and just having to settle for outside shots right now.
Castleman and Schlesser should take the 3 deep right. It's good. 30-19, 2:30 to go here in the third. Cleveland, again, her nifty work, and she's fouled by Pearson.
That's a big foul by Pearson, her third. She's been the one who's been guarding the Lady Trojans.
Southeast has stayed in this man-to-man press, and they're not trapping. So, we ought to just get the ball in and then clear everybody out and just come one-on-one with the ball because Cameron's handling the ball fine. She's not turning it over, so just get everybody out and let's go man-to-man.
Oh, she got the ball.
Way to jinx her, Lyle.
The announcer jinx right there. I didn't really know that was a thing.
Okay, Castleman and Schlesser
20
here.
to go in the third. Southeast trying to pull away. They lead it 30-19 over Minneapolis.
Inside
That's a
the
walk.
travel.
And he's going to call a foul instead of a walk.
Before the shot. Get Peyton Smith.
Gordon shot was a foul, so Southeast will inbound here.
There not have been a foul.
31 takes the 15-footer. That is Maddie Harris. Deep down court to Cozart. Layup is no good. She's fouled.
Minneapolis quickly up the floor. Cleveland feeds it to Cozart, who leaped up wide open, and Cozart goes up for a layup and gets fouled.
Definitely caught the Trojans napping there. Again, they've been in the man press, so there should have been somebody back, but nobody taking advantage of that, getting 2 free throws here.
Has the most points on the game now for Minneapolis with 7.
Cozart continues the hot hand with the free throw.
I'll be quiet till she shoots this.
I don't believe in jinxes.
And
we go.
got the second one.
6 for 6.
11-point advantage for the Trojans.
Yeah.
Oh
Good
my!
offense.
Cleveland sticks a hand in, and Southeast touches it last. What an anticipation.
And I've got that for their 5th turnover for the quarter also. So, I mean, they're turning the ball over a bunch, too. They're just making shots when they do get opportunities.
Cleveland across the timeline. Drives up each foul by Maddie Harris.
Foul against Southeast of Saline. This will put Cleveland at the line. Maybe this is what she needs, a 1-and-1.
That's the 7th team foul on Southeast, so we'll be shooting free throws the rest of the game.
Pearson with 3.
1-and-1 here for
Harris with 3.
Cameron.
Kopolis with 3.
And it's no good. She gets the rebound. 5-footer. Oh, it's no good off the deal. She'll put the rebound out to Smith. Cleveland on the right way.
Down 32
Forte, the top.
40 to play in the third.
Back to Cleveland.
And Maggie created both those offensive rebounds by tipping the first one out and then going and getting the second one.
Latest, Peyton Smith for 3.
Another one.
The rebound up and in. And by golly, Peyton Smith didn't shoot the ball. It didn't go in. She usually turns that down.
That's a heck of a possession by Maggie right there with 2 offensive rebounds and a tip out for a 3rd.
Number 2, Potacek, 3-pointer, no good. Cleveland with the rebound, and we've got a tie-up underneath between Smith and Schlesinger.
It is her first.
The foul call or something? Why did we blow the whistle there?
In the third, and
Yep.
it's 1-and-1 here
Foul.
for Minneapolis.
Opportunity coming up for the Lady Lions. Peyton Smith with the rebound. Or the free throws there, 1-and-1.
It's pretty good for a team who's below 50% on the season. Smith to the line for a 1-and-1.
Back ribs that.
Is too strong. Rebound.
Castleman with the rebound for
Southeast of Saline, final 60 seconds.
and they about throw it away again. Potacek comes up with
That is a walk.
no call on the walk.
Travel, none was called by the
Potacek top of the key over to Schlesinger.
50 seconds to go in the third. Hit the ball gets on the right point, skips over the left side.
Down deep left to Schlesinger. She turns down to 3. Potacek. Back to Schlesinger.
Line's in the zone right now. Or sagging man.
Castleman
Sagging
on the right.
man.
She comes up front. We're content to run clock here. Maybe go for the last shot of the quarter. Leading by 9. Schlesinger on the deep left. Up front to Potacek. Now back to Schlesinger. 10 seconds. Castleman over to She's fouled by Cleveland.
Number 6 by Minneapolis.
Reagan gets team foul 6 on the Lions. 6.5 seconds, so they'll have to get a shot up in a hurry. Schlesinger. They're going to run out of time. Castleman gets it off. No good. Rebound. Shot put up by 42. That's Leslie Jacobson, but too late. No good. After 3 quarters to play, it's the Trojans 32. Your Minneapolis Lady Lions 23. We'll be right back.
our real Bonnie Nelson. Brains and Watkins, Scott Moore. Design, Sherry Berger.
El Pollo 19 Restaurant for Ed and Brian Bowles.
I know from the ability to climb.
Welcome back as we get ready to roll here for the fourth.
Back here at
Lady
Minneapolis
Lions down by
High
9.
School, the Lady
They have the
Lions
possession arrow.
rally as they trail
we'll
Saline.
Well, the good news, bad news. That was our highest scoring quarter of the night. Unfortunately, we also let them have their highest scoring quarter of the night, which was 5 more than what we had. So they were able to extend their lead.
All right, Cleveland across the timeline.
Into
Smith.
By the way, is your Saline Ortho starting lineup.
Shoot
Saline
here on
Ortho
the right wing.
drives for the best orthopedic
Top of the
care.
key, excuse me, shoot.
World-class care and treatment
Forte
options.
takes a 3.
Personal
It's
touch
off
73.
and out of bounds to
Fires the right wing
the Lady
line.
Trojans.
Way long and out of bounds.
Here we go. Oh, Castleman drives, traveled.
Got one.
I wondered if the ref was going to call what I saw.
Before going up with a shot for Southeast.
They're pulling the press off. Interesting.
By the Trojans. Here with 7:30 to play in the fourth quarter.
Well, they don't want to foul anymore. Put us at the line, that'd be my guess. Any more than they have to foul. Cleveland, free throw line shot. Short. Shoot with rebound after the top. Cozart, 3-pointer short.
We got away with a walk there.
Another offensive
Our outside shots are just not to be claimed. Inside to Forte. Shots up.
Oh, you got to call that.
And now they call Cozart. On the rebound attempt.
The backside came over to play defense on Courtney there on the pass over the top of the front and definitely pushed her there. That was clearly a foul. Should have been clearly a foul and shots for the Lions.
To the other end we go for a 1-and-1. Schlesner to the line.
7:06 to go.
I'm sure she's a very
Where she is 2 for 2.
Schlesner to the line. First free throw.
Almost got her.
Brian.
Around. Falls in.
She now has 11 to lead all scorers. Her third trip to the line. This will be her 4th attempt on
Shot is up and good. Okay, into Cleveland. 10-point advantage for the Lady Trojans.
The scoreboard says 33.
11-point advantage. Oh, they make the steal. Run out on the right side is good. That's Maddie Harris, the steal and the lay-in. 13-point advantage for the Trojans.
And the largest lead on the game for the Trojans.
Forte, free throw line.
With Paul Forte on the right
Gets it
elbow.
to Smith. She drives in.
Smith on the right wing.
Takes it back to
Dribbles in and
Cleveland.
gets stopped. And Minneapolis has to reset here with 6:30 to go in the game.
Shoop here on the left wing.
36-23. Cleveland with no points.
Smith deep down into Cozart. She's fouled from behind by
Harris's 4th, I think.
That'll be Harris's 4th.
Here in the second half, Elena Cozart at the foul line. She has 8 points. 6 of which from the line.
6 for 6 from the line is Elena Cozart's line.
Maddie Harris picks up her 4th personal foul, team foul number 9 against the Trojans.
7
Cozart at the
on the front rim.
Southeast of Saline runs down the loose ball.
Pearson with the rebound from
Steady hand,
Southeast. Gets it up to
Schlesner dribbling the basketball in the backcourt. Bring it across the timeline here for the Trojans.
Castleman.
Right wing to Castleman.
Lions out of rotation on defense right there.
Shot is no good off of Forte on the rebound attempt.
Keeps the rebound out of bounds as they collect it. Southeast of Saline with the basketball here with 6 minutes to go in the game and leading by 13.
Ooh, nice play inside. Pearson puts it up to 2. Extends their lead to 15.
38-23 Southeast.
Shooting woes of the Lions have really killed them here after the first quarter.
They just haven't been able to get the ball inside, or drive against that defense.
Shoop attacks,
foul on the way to the basket.
And that's what the Lady Lions need to be doing right now, is driving the ball, because they're going to have free throws every time they're fouled now.
The problem for Minneapolis is they
double bonus attempts here.
Southeast of Saline is in the 1-and-1.
Any point you can get with the clock stopped right now is big.
Maddie Lang is substituted in
to go
after this free throw.
Avery Castleman shoots to the moon. Who is 1 of 2 on the game. That miss, though, is
Maddie
because
Lang
she
comes in
stepped
for
over the
Peyton
line.
Smith.
She did make the free throw. She'll make her 3rd free throw attempt on the game, though, to give her 4.
That's a big lay line, 16th attempt.
Maggie's second free throw's on the way, and front rim's no good. Pearson with the rebound for the Trojans.
Saline collects the rebound. 5:40 to go in the game. Southeast of
Lester on the right wing. Deep left, deep right, they drive around. Kick it over to Pearson. Castleman drives down, pulls it back out.
Has to push it back out to Guest.
Lester, deep left.
Feeds it to the right side.
34 commits to the 3, turns it down. And Cleveland gets the steal.
The basketball. It's loose at midcourt. Minneapolis.
Tie up.
But then a tie-up gets called.
Possession arrow to the Lady Trojans. Great defensive play by Cameron Cleveland there.
Southeast let go of some open shots right there. They've definitely been told to work the clock a little bit right here. They passed up on a couple of open shots.
Definitely running time. All right, Schlesinger over here to the left. Castleman drives in.
With the basketball left corner, Yannikopoulos feeds it up high for Schlesinger.
Castleman deep, should drive it in. Back to 34. Layup shot is no good. Courtney Forte with the rebound over to Cleveland. And the Lions on the attack.
That possession, Southeast definitely looked fresher. Lions looked like they were dragging a little bit, trying to follow people instead of beating them to spots.
Shoop up front here. Over to Cleveland. He drives and loses the ball. Castleman.
Wow.
Comes up with it for Southeast. We're higher up in possession arrow for the Lady Lions.
Quite a no call there. Could have been a push off on Cleveland and could have been a block either way, but tons of contact for there to be no call there.
I agree. Cozart inbound the ball, gives it to Smith. 4:30 to go.
Could have been an offensive foul. It also
And
should have been a block.
Cleveland on the deep right.
Southeast of Saline.
Inside to shoot, free throw line shot is no good.
The high post shoot a 15-footer.
Schlesinger with the rebound for Southeast. Our shooting woes continue big time. Shoot, sets the front, knocks that out. Man, if we could have been hitting some shots, this would be a heck of a lot different game.
All fed up the floor for Southeast of Saline gets batted out into the
Well, part of that still is, some of our shots are still, they're not really contested, but we're not in a comfort zone at getting them off. We're just not really shooting in a rhythm.
Yeah.
NCAA league title right on the line here between.
Okay, Forte sets in front of the passing lane to get that. Out to Cozart.
So Lady Lions bring it up the floor. They need to play up a little more speed here on offense.
Out to Smith on the right wing.
Smith with it, right wing. Goes over to the left.
Cozart open for three.
Good!
Is that our first three of the night?
That would be our first 3.
Brings the Lions within 11. 3:40 remaining here in the fourth period. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Lindsay Creek.
Not what I wanted.
The Lions of Minneapolis High School are proudly supported by the Davidson Agency, with offices in Delphus, Minneapolis, Bennington, and Lincoln. As a nationwide insurance agent and an independent agent, they provide hometown service for the insurance needs of their customers for home, small business, farm and crop, and life and health coverage. Call them today at 785-523-4202.
3:40 to go in the game. Minneapolis just hit a big 3 there.
All right, coming to the Lions, down by 11, 3:40 to go.
Pearson finally.
Minneapolis is in the double bonus. Southeast is in the 1-1, and the Lady Lions put on a token pressure here.
Southeast of Saline with the ball out of the timeout.
Cassima.
As they are working from left to right. Pearson with it.
Pearson over here to
Yes. Air out of this game. Hit off right corner. Yanakopoulos lost the ball, but
Pearson on the left wing. They're definitely running clock.
Yeah, and I'm surprised Lions aren't fouling right here. And go ahead and put them up. Let's put them in the 1-on-1. And
how about
that's a good steal?
Steal and a run out. Can she get the layup? Up and in.
I guess that's why right there.
38-29 Southeast. Under 3 minutes. Cassima down to Schlesinger. Layup is good. She is one hair in the basketball.
Yeah, and you're better off getting a foul than definitely giving that up.
Kosar.
She's got 14
double dribble.
Against Minneapolis back on the other end of the floor. Southeast back out in front by 11.
And that hadn't been called a ton this year. If you fumble the pass, everybody's almost been given a second dribble.
I was going to say, as long as you're just fumbling to gain possession, is my understanding that that is not considered to be a dribble, and you still have your dribble left. But I guess he interpreted that a little bit differently.
Maggie Shoup comes in for Elena Kozar.
Kozar heads out. Shoup is joined on floor by Lang, Smith, Cleveland, and Forte.
Pearson into Schlesinger.
Southeast of Saline battling for its 7th straight win, which would be their 12th on the season.
Right up. Out to Pearson. Back to running clock with the Trojans. But they put up the shot. As I say that, that's in. Elena Yankopoulos down to Smith. She drives.
Minneapolis quickly up the floor.
Tie up position there at Southeast.
That's just one of those where there's one too many dribbles right there. Stop one dribble earlier and either take that short 15-footer or get the ball back outside.
13-point lead for the Trojans. 2 minutes to go here in the game.
Southeast of Saline with the ball. 2 minutes to go in the ball game. Trojans are 6-0 in league play.
Pearson here at the top. And we have a 30-second timeout by Southeast. Talk about their strategy in the last 2 minutes. What strategy should we have, Coach?
Well, at this point, coming out of this with the ball being out of bounds, I would definitely run some kind of a trap or, force them to throw the ball into one of the corners and run a double team at them and try to get a trap and get a bad pass coming out of that. After that, if they get that ball out of there, we've got either A, really get in the passing lane, or B, put them at the free throw line, which is probably not in our best interest with as good as shooters as they are, but that's about the only option we have.
And I think the foul needs to be probably on 33 or 25. I mean, those are the two that probably need to be fouling. Had a couple opportunities to get to both of them, too.
They're running the weave. Eating up the clock.
Neither one of those two do you want to foul. There's the foul. Get it?
There we foul.
Yeah, that's not the one.
Not probably who we want to put at the line.
Nope.
Pearson gave the ball up
points on the game. Smith now with 3 fouls. That's the 8th on Minneapolis.
3rd foul on Smith.
To go.
Pretty shot.
Yeah, at that point in the game, you've got 2 1-on-1s coming. You'd like to get those fouls against their lesser free throw shooters for sure.
All scores. Minneapolis led by Kozar with 11.
Shot up and short. Forte with the rebound.
Hey, we jinxed her once, huh?
Gets it out to Cleveland.
Minneapolis on the rebound. Trailing by 14.
Down to Smith. He looks in the force. Cleveland for Kozar. Deep 3. Good.
Nails it. Kozar at 14
43-32. We're about it, Dar.
14 points for Cozart. She's having a really good night.
When she shoots off the pass and has her feet set, she's pretty solid. It's when she's off the dribble that she struggles a little bit. But when she has her feet set, it's a pretty good shooter.
Cleveland, reach-in foul.
32 Southeast of Saline, and Cleveland is forced to foul here, as that'll put Maddie Harris at the line. And their 70% foul shooter has 10 points on the game.
So we have Maddie Harris to the line.
She has just killed Minneapolis from the mid-range. You would think she'd be able to
the
get
first
stroke those 15-footers. That time she'll bury a free throw.
And Reagan Getz will come in for Lexi Jacobson.
Especially in today's day and age where you either shoot threes or are planning on the block.
Yeah.
Second one's up and good.
Yes.
So back to the 13-point advantage for the Lady Trojans under a minute remaining. Smith comes out.
The lead for Southeast Saline is 45-32 over Minneapolis.
Lang inputs
3
to
seconds to play here in the ball game. Minneapolis fought hard tonight, Jason. You got to give them credit.
Down low to Forte. Shot up and good.
Haven't been able to get to that the whole second half. That might be the first time we've got her the ball on the block.
Southeast of Saline,
11-point advantage now for the Trojans. 43 seconds remaining.
Minneapolis calls their 5th and final timeout.
Southeast of Saline kept them in the middle in the second half. It could have been a 40-point game the way that they were playing.
Well, you know, I was talking about the one half, how each team was at about a third of their normal output. Minneapolis is 4 points now under their average output. No, 2.8 points under their average output. And Southeast is 3.4 points under their average output. So things have gotten a lot more intense in the second half.
Yeah, there's been a whole lot more offense from both sides this half. Like Lyle said, you know, our inability to get the ball inside has really hurt us, and their pressure on the outside has just kept our outside shooters just about a half a notch off of being comfortable, and we just have not been able to hit really anything from the outside as well.
If I remember correctly, Cleveland still scoreless. Right?
Yes, that is correct.
45 for the Lady Lions. 40 seconds to go.
They get up to Fletcher. Don't foul her. She'll keep the ball for Leonard.
It's a magician, the straw that
30 seconds.
That stirs the drink here for Southeast of Saline.
Almost a steal there. Schlester's foul. She goes to the floor.
Go here in the fourth quarter. It's 45-34. Schlesner with 15 points.
Yeah, the Lions made the decision, you know, to go short bench here and go just 6 deep. And obviously, you know, we've stayed in the ball game and just down 11 here. But I think in the latter parts of the second half, we were a little bit worn down.
16 now for Carson Schlesner, who to me is probably the best player.
16 points for Schlesner. And misses the second with Forte with the rebound. 20 seconds remaining.
Rebound Minneapolis.
Cleveland
Final 20 seconds of the game.
She drives in.
Spot, but they'll fall short. It's 46-34.
She's fouled on the way to the line. Shot is off. She'll go to the line for 2.
Probably the 5th on Harris.
11.9 seconds remaining.
Yep.
I like what she has done in this game, even though she didn't have her shot down and knocking down jumpers.
Castleman in
done a
for
great job of attacking
Harris.
Yeah, and been on the board. She's got
the Southeast.
Tonight, had some big offensive rebound sessions and extended.
First free throw.
First free throw, though, from Mandy. Shoot left and short. By the way, that foul against Maddie Harris of Southeast.
Both teams in the 1-on-1
She
now.
is fouled out in her ninth with 12 points, though, in a winning effort. A little less than 12 seconds to go in a 12.
And no good also. Forte's rebound up and in.
Forte grabs the rebound and sticks it back.
46-36, 6 seconds remaining.
Oh, yeah. That's the game off.
36. The final score here.
Lady Lions dropped
A lot closer game than 55 to 30 as it was in
and a league title in their sights.
Southeast back on January 8th. We'll be back after some words for our sponsors for a wrap up.
The American Family Insurance is Scott Oshman. All your insurance coverage under one roof. Scott Oshman Agency is located in Minneapolis and Belleville, proudly supporting the Minneapolis High School Lions.
Autotech is providing reliable services to the local communities since 2002. Our proud supporters of the NCAA Lions. Keating and Dave Sweat lead and outstanding mechanics who tackle repairs on all makes and models of automobiles and also provide competitive pricing for engines. Authorized dealers for Jasper engines and transmissions. Don't forget our lineup of used cars. If you or a loved one are in need of in-home personalized care, remember Accessible Home Care, serving Central Kansas with offices in Minneapolis, Saline, and Junction City. Professional and personalized care in your home is available by our staff 24/7. Contact us at 785-493-8111. We proudly support the Minneapolis Lions.
Citizen State Bank and Trust is a proud supporter of Minneapolis Lions athletics. Stop by and visit Jason Bird for all of your financial planning and investment needs. We are dedicated to helping your money work harder for you. Citizen State Bank and Trust, the cornerstone of our community.
Okay, welcome back. The Lady Lions go to 8-9 on the season, with I think 3 or 4 games left here in the regular season coming up. In Southeast 12-5. The final score here was 46-36, I believe. Minneapolis scoring right at their season average in that loss.
Robots.
Pretty good game overall. Yep. I think Lyle spot on and wore out. Short bench we playing. Our shooting just lacked a lot to be desired from the outside throughout the game. But it's encouraging for the rock and fire we saw out of the girls to see what's going to come up with the balance of this season. I'll go ahead and give it what you got.
Yeah, I think the positives there obviously is the Lions didn't turn the ball over a lot against the press, so a lot better ball handling against the press. The bigger issue was the turnovers in the half court rather than against the press, but it didn't lead to a ton of runouts. So they forced They forced Southeast to make some shots in the second half, and I think that's the difference in the end was Southeast was able to make those shots in the second half. So quarter by quarter it was 8-8 after the first quarter, 17-13 at half. Big quarter was the third quarter. The Lions were outscored by 5, so at that point trailing 32-23, and then outscored by 1 in the fourth quarter for the final of 46-36. I will kick it over to Dale if he's done, and then come back for the play of the game and the player of the game when you're done there.
Okay. Leading score tonight for Minneapolis was Elena Kozart with 14. She was followed by Courtney Forte with 10. Peyton Smith with 6. Maggie Shoup with 4. And Maddie Lang with 2. Southeast was led by Karen Schlesinger with 16. Followed by Maddie Host with 12. Melanie Pearson with 6. Avery Castleman with 5. Reagan Getz with 5. And Elena Yanakopoulos with 2.
You did real well on that name, man. You did real well on that name.
Here on 92.7, the News U.
I was hoping I didn't have to say it, but I hope I muddled through it okay. Free throw wise, Minneapolis was 5 out of 12 in the second half to finish the game, 10 out of 18. Southeast free throw line second half was 5 out of 8 to finish the game, 9 out of 12. Not sure what Lyle had for turnovers. I had the Lions for 12 in the second half, Southeast for 6. With input, Minneapolis at 22 for the game, Southeast 13. Rebounding, I had Minneapolis with 27 and Southeast with 19.
How many rebounds did you end up with?
Courtney ended the game with 14. She had a double-double, 10 points, 14 rebounds.
How many total rebounds did you have us for?
I had us for 27.
We were very close there. I had 29 to 19, so we were very close on the rebounds. Turnovers I was a little short of you. I had us for 19 and then for 14.
Again, a big factor, obviously in the game. Cameron Cleveland finished the night with no points. They had her just really off her game, the entire evening. So that really hurt our chances, to not get the production from her. But Elena Kozar kind of helped offset that with her 14. That's one of her better games here lately. Finished tonight 6 out of 7 from the free throw line.
And with Cameron having to be the primary ball handler against the press, that was kind of her job tonight, was to handle the ball and get the ball up, and actually did a very good job. Again, we didn't turn the ball over much against their pressure, so really did her job there, but definitely did take away from her scoring.
All right.
For the play of the game, I'm going to go back to Maggie Shoup's trip down the floor where she had 2 offensive rebounds and a tip out for a third. Our Lions were able to get a big bucket there and actually keep the game close. That was with 1:09 left in the third. It got the Lions back to within single digits in that possession. So just a lot of hustle right there. So I think play of the game right there for Maggie. And then sponsored by Citizen State Bank. Thank you, sir. And the player of the game, obviously, I think Elena Kozar offensively stepping up. I know, Cameron didn't have any points, and Cameron did a lot of ball handling tonight, but I still think Elena probably ends up being the player of the game there, and the player of the game tonight sponsored by Wilson Family Funeral Home.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap this game up. Thanks, as always, for having us in your home or listening to us on the go. We'll be back for the guys after we get things switched over here.
Job, Lyle.